everyone. Well, okay, so I started this series of my pregnancies because I was asked to share. So I'm going to go ahead and share with my first child and how that pregnancy went, the symptoms and such. So, anyway, first actual child. Because my first pregnancy ended in a miscarriage, and that was in the previous video. Well, this video is about Gabriel, my son Gabriel. He has been the miraculous baby. I mean, he is my rainbow baby. So, with Gabriel, I had not so many symptoms. So, let's go ahead and get right into that. Okay, my first symptom, I would say that I noticed I was pregnant. I started having a craving for chicken and chocolate pudding. Okay, picture that. Chicken, like Chinese style, those little chicken nugget thingies they have. Sweet and sour chicken. Sweet and sour chicken with chocolate pudding. And I could not get enough. That would be symptom number one. Instant weird cravings. Another symptom, you could say, was I started feeling really with a headache. I had a bad headache for like 2-3 days. It didn't go away. And I was like, I don't get headaches. So that was, I guess you could say, my second symptom. It was right after my cravings started kicking in, so who knows? It could have been just the chicken, right? Third symptom with Gabriel was, yes, bloating. Serious bloating. Oh, and so, serious bloating. So I started gaining a lot of weight during that pregnancy. So, yeah. Number 4 would be missed period. After that, I think it was missed period because I took a pregnancy test 2 days after my missed period, and I wasn't supposed to actually be able to get pregnant until 3 to 4 months after my miscarriage. But I found out on Father's Day that I was pregnant. Was able to tell my husband, well, my boyfriend at the time, that I was pregnant with our second child, but I was also fearful. So my 4th symptom, I guess you could say, was my missed period. Okay, so number 5 on my symptom list was nausea in the later part of my pregnancy. And then with that, I don't know what was going on, but I wasn't nauseous in the very beginning. So I don't really understand how that worked out. But I wouldn't even be nauseous. I mean, the only time I would probably feel nauseous is waking up, and then I have something to eat, and I'm fine. But in the end of my pregnancy, it was really bad. Like, I had to have, something by my bed because I was not feeling it. It could just be because my stomach was being pushed on, but I really think that, morning sickness is not just for the morning, guys. Okay, number 6 is breast tenderness. Oh, yes. Everybody usually has it, especially with your first pregnancy. But see, this was my second pregnancy, first child. And so I had a mild case of breast tenderness where just my nipples and my, the areola area would be really tender, but then on the sides of them, it would really hurt. But after like 2 to 3 days, it disappeared. The story on Gabriel: I did not have a very difficult pregnancy because, for one, I was, I don't know, I really don't know. I just didn't have a difficult pregnancy with my first. And, then when I delivered, oh my gosh, 3 pushes, that baby was gone. But then again, I did have the epidural, so it was a vaginal birth, but it was epidural. And I would recommend that epidural to anybody, trust me, because I've had an epidural, a natural, and a C-section. So I've had all 3, okay? So you could say, I've gone the rounds. So with this one, it was a full epidural. It was the one that you couldn't walk around. It was the you had to lay down. And after I tried to go natural, but that plan kind of went out the window. I have a very low pain tolerance to a point, and so when it hit that 3rd contraction, I was like, "Give me the epidural!" And the doctor was like, no problem. Okay, so they came over, gave me checked me first, and then did the epidural. And believe it or not, I know my epidural anesthesiologist's name, and his name is Anthony. And he works at ETMC Athens. He's an absolute wonderful anesthesiologist. And he is the #1 recommended. I will recommend him anywhere. If he needs a job recommendation, I will give him one, because he is an absolutely wonderful person. He listened to me when I told him, because you know those epidural needles are really, really long, and they're like really, really thick. They're big needles. They're not little needles. And so I'm terrified of needles. So even though I've been pricked all my pregnancy, I'm still like, dude, don't tell me you're about to do this. Just, I held onto my husband's hands, and I'm arching my back, and I say, don't tell me what you're going to do. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Just do it. Just say 1, 2, 3, boom, done, Don't even say 1, 2, 3 sometimes. But, so I had to sing, with my horrible voice, going through this epidural, and it took less than 2-3 seconds before I felt boom. I was like, oh, I feel like I'm in heaven. So the epidural was perfect. So with that, after the epidural, I didn't feel hardly anything. I felt a little pressure, so you don't lose all of your feeling unless you actually have to go for a C-section. Then you lose everything. But so with this epidural, I'm sitting there, in pain, but I still feel the tightening of the contractions. It's not painful, but it's a tightening. So I begin to feel like I've got to take a dump. And of course, that's the moment the head is about ready to come out. You know that, ladies. So as soon as that happens, the doctor comes in, checks, says, okay, we're ready to start pushing. And I'm like, we are? Okay, because I'm in la la land, because this is like, wow, I don't feel the pain. This is great. I want to have another one. So, my dumb self. So, I'm sitting here squeezing my husband's hand, and during this epidural, during the first push, I bring him to his knees because I've squeezed his hand so much. And he gave me the one with his ring on it. So, of course, with that being squeezed, have you ever had your hand squeezed where your ring is on it? So, here I am, squeezing his hand as tight as I can, and I'm pushing, and I'm hunching, and I'm not even screaming, so that's okay, that's good. I'm just like, and I'm listening to my music as I'm going through it, so I've got my own plan going on. And so, here I am, doctor says, okay, breathe, push, breathe, push, okay, done. And there comes Gabriel. Poof, right out. Not even 45 minutes. He was born at 10:59 a.m. in the morning on February 19th, 2014. So he was carried 40 weeks exactly, because him combined with my weight was causing me to not be able to walk very well. And it was also causing major back problems. I was having trouble breathing. And it's not just his fault, but the fact that I was overweight, like way overweight for pregnancy, and it was just crazy. So there you go, guys. There's my pregnancy history, my pregnancy story for my first son. And so I hope that y'all enjoyed it. I hope that y'all will come back and see me